Hey guys, thanks for joining me. My name is Jason Saunders. I'm going to talk about the statement of demonstrated ability, what a statement of demonstrated ability is, and how can you obtain one. Now, if you're like me, my eyesight was not perfect 2020. Unfortunately, wasn't going to be able to be corrected with glasses, and so I had to find a way to still obtain a medical certificate. So stay tuned. If you have a similar case, you might have a medical condition that might prevent you from obtaining a medical certificate. Well, I'm going to tell my story of how I went about obtaining my statement of demonstrated ability. So I began flight school in 2017, spring of 2017, and my flight instructor told me, they said, hey, you need to go get a medical certificate. And I knew that I wanted to be an airline pilot, so I would need a first class medical certificate. And I knew that you need 20/20 vision. You can have glasses and have 20/20 vision, but the eyesight needs to be to that standard of 20/20 vision. So I knew that one of my eyes is a little bit blurry, so I had to go get glasses. I went and I made an appointment with the eye doctor, and they gave me an eye exam, and they said, hey, your eyesight is not going to be able to correct to 20/20. We can't prescribe glasses. You have something called amblyopia, and that was new to me. I didn't know what that was. Well, my eye is permanently just a little bit blurry, just a little bit. So one of my eyes, my brain, just as I grew up, my brain mostly sees out of my left eye, blocks a little bit of the vision from my right eye, so it's permanently blurry. So I was scared. I didn't know if I was going to be able to continue aviation, to be a pilot like I wanted to, and I was scared, you know. And so I had to do some research and basically found out that you can obtain something called a statement of demonstrated ability. Now, I didn't have a whole lot of information about how to obtain that. I just found information online about what it was. So I asked my flight instructor, and he said, hey, you do that through your AME, your medical examiner. And so I called up the medical examiner, and they said, no, we don't do that for you. We can't request a statement of demonstrated ability on your behalf. You have to contact the FAA, the S.O.D.A, the Flight Standard District Office. And so I was kind of stuck. I didn't really know. I didn't have any contact information or anything like that. I didn't know what to do. Finally, I got in touch with the AME once again. I don't know if I called them or they called me, but they said, hey, we do have a contact for someone from the S.O.D.A, and they gave me that information, and I reached out to them, and they said, yeah, we can help you out. They were super helpful, and they said, you just need to email us and request a statement of demonstrated ability, list your condition, and describe it briefly, and request a statement of demonstrated ability. So I filled out an email. I sent it in to the FAA, the S.O.D.A, and basically they responded, and they gave me a form that I had to fill out, or the eye doctor had to fill out, about my eyesight and my specific condition with my amblyopia. And so when I had my medical exam, they deferred it, and then I went through this process. So I had the form filled out, I had it sent in to the FAA, I emailed it to them, and then they told me you need to request a medical flight test. So I think I did that in the same email. I attached the paperwork for my eyesight and requested a medical flight test. Then I had to wait to get a letter in the mail, and that took a couple weeks. Then I finally got a letter in the mail, a letter that said you're approved to take a medical flight test. And so then I called them back up, and I had to organize getting that taken care of, the medical flight test. I scheduled it out, I rented out an aircraft, someone from the FAA had to come out and make sure the airplane was airworthy, an airworthiness inspector. Once they approved the plane, then I could do the medical flight test. Now, it wasn't so bad. Someone came out with me. We did a normal takeoff. They quizzed me. They pulled out a chart. They said, hey, read this to me. You know, they said, how far do you think that mountain is over there? How far are those power lines? Stuff like that. They just asked me simple questions and had me identify things, make sure I could safely fly the plane and identify things and read things. And then once that flight was complete, it was like a half an hour flight or an hour flight, something like that. They approved me and they said, hey, you passed the medical flight test. And then they sent me the statement of demonstrated ability in the mail along with my first class medical. So this says on it, I'm authorized for first class medical. Now this doesn't expire. As long as my eyesight doesn't get worse, deteriorate, and I have this statement of demonstrated ability attached together with my medical certificate, and so I can continue to hold a first class medical certificate. So I'm really grateful for that and for the process that the FAA can still allow pilots to obtain a medical certificate. So yeah, my vision is, it's like 2030. I can still see very well. You know, I just mostly see out of my left eye. I can still safely see my surroundings and see very well. But my right eye is just permanently a little bit blurry, and yet I still proved that I could be a safe pilot and just carry a statement of demonstrated ability. And yeah, that's my process, and I hope this video helped. So if you do need to get a statement of demonstrated ability, you need to email the FAA, request a statement of demonstrated ability. They'll respond. You fill out some paperwork, you submit that, you request a medical flight test, and then you organize the medical flight test. You get that taken care of. Someone comes out and flies with you, and they approve you to get a S.O.D.A if you pass their test. And then yeah, you carry that with you throughout your career and keep it together with your medical certificate. Anyway, that's my story. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you in some of my other videos.